In this video, we'll cover naming molecular compounds. There are two types of chemical compounds in chemistry. One is a molecular compound, right here, and the other one is the ionic compound. The ionic compound is made up of a metal and a nonmetal, but our focus is on molecular compound, which is made up of a nonmetal and a nonmetal. For example, C2H2. Carbon is made up of nonmetal, and so is hydrogen. Nonmetal, nonmetal. Now, before I go ahead and name these two nonmetals, the molecular compound is split off into two categories. You need to determine if that C2H2 is an acid. Well, if it is an acid, yes, then it should look something like this. The H should be in the front, and the other nonmetal component should be in the back. HF, HC2H3O2. These are all acid, and I can tell because the hydrogen is in the front. It is still a molecular compound because it is made up of a nonmetal, and all of these components are nonmetal. Now, is it an acid and safe? It's a no, okay? Something like this, or everything else that does not have a hydrogen in the front will be considered to be a non-acid component. Even if it has a hydrogen, well, this hydrogen is in the back. C2H2, therefore, is not an acid, but rather fall into this category here. Our video will focus on the molecular compound, naming them, but mainly in this side where it says, is it an acid? No, it is not. So if it is not an acid, then what rules should it follow? Well, in order for it to best talk about how to name the molecular compound, I will need to go ahead and show you some examples, like this CO2. On the left-hand side, this shows you the rules of how to write a molecular compound. So let's read off of the first one. The first nonmetal full name. So this carbon is just named as it is, carbon. So let's write that. Carbon. The second nonmetal, which is this oxygen here, gets the root name with the IDE ending. So you get oxide. And I did leave a space for a reason right here. Now, the second rule says prefixes are added to both to represent the number of atoms in the formula except for the first nonmetal if it only has one atom. What this means is you're going to look at these prefixes on the right. Mono, di, tri, tetra, penta, all the way up to deca 10. So for this oxygen, right, to indicate that there's two oxygen, we would write carbon dioxide. Second one, this would be carbon monoxide. So you see this portion here from the prefix. Now you might be wondering, why don't you write monocarbon? There's only one carbon, monocarbon. Well, if the first one, right, is just only one, okay, then we don't write the mono, we just leave it as it is. But in scenarios like this, where there's more than one, like carbon has two, right? So this scenario would be dicarbon. There are three oxygens, so trioxide. Let's try a learning check. Try to name all of these here and come back and check the key. And here is the key. I like to kind of focus on these two right here just to indicate some spelling, okay? So if it's an oxygen, and oxygen has oxide, right? It looks like oxide. And then if it has three, it's tri. So that seems pretty simple because it says tri here, that's three, so trioxide. But when it comes to this one, the one above it, this is dec, right? Well, it says deca here. and the rest of the oxygen is oxide. So what happened to the A? So the oxide, so DCA, this A gets taken out if the next letter is an O. So if it was, say, PO 4, okay, then we're talking about phosphorus. And then O4, this is 4 is tetra, and then drop the A, and tetroxide is what I'm referring to. Okay, let's try number 2. From the following systematic names, write the formula for each compound. This is pretty easy. It says dinitrogen monoxide. Dinitrogen means there's 2 of the nitrogen. Monoxide means there's only 1 oxygen. Now you try the next 2 and come back and check the key. And here is the key.